Tom, this is fun and all, but I really wish there was an easier way to play submarines.
So, you want to play Captain Sonar. I'm Tom.
And I'm Chris.
And this is Captain Sonar, a game released in 2016, designed by Roberto Fraga and Johan Lemonier, made for 2 to 8 players. You are 2 teams of submariners trying to destroy the other team. You win when you deal 4 damage to the opposing team's submarine and survive.
The game can be played turn-based or real-time, but we'll be explaining the turn-based variant. To claim victory, there are 4 roles on each team that you'll need to master.
To get started, you need to separate into 2 teams and then sort out your roles. There is the captain, the radio operator, the engineer, and the first mate.
If there are fewer players on your team than there are roles, the captain should take on additional roles, leaving the radio operator alone since it's a stressful job.
Once you've got roles sorted, each team needs to sit on opposite sides of a table facing their corresponding role on the other team. You need to pick a scenario. We suggest starting with A as it's the easiest, pulling out the captain and radio operator sheets for that scenario, give those to those players, including giving the radio operator a clear plastic sheet that they can use, and give everybody a pen.
Then the first mate and the engineer need to be given their sheets, and each team comes up with a name for their submarine. Write your name and the name of the submarine up in the space provided.
Then separate the teams with the barriers provided, and you're all set to play. At the beginning of the game, each captain draws an X on one of the dots on the map, indicating where their submarine starts. The role of the captain is to command where their ship is going to move. To do this best, you need to communicate with your team where you can move and where the enemy team might be.
On the captain's turn, the captain can move the sub 1 space in any of the 4 cardinal directions by announcing loudly and clearly. For instance, by phrasing it, "Head north," or "head south." After this, he needs to wait for the OK from his teammates before passing the turn to the enemy team.
The role of the radio operator is to try and track down the enemy submarine. Whenever the enemy captain announces a movement, the radio operator draws that on their transparent sheet, starting from anywhere because you don't really know where the enemy team starts.
The radio operator can then slide the transparent sheet around the map to try and get an idea of where the enemy sub might be, bearing in mind that no sub can ever pass through an island or its own course. It's also useful to note down the areas where the enemy sub might have deployed its abilities.
The first mate is in charge of managing the submarine systems. Whenever the captain makes a movement, you fill in one of the spaces on any of the systems. You need to communicate with the captain that you have done so, and you'll need to be communicating with the captain to fill in the spaces that he wants filled in. You also need to communicate with everybody whenever a system is fully charged. You do this by saying, for example, "Mine ready."
The captain is the only player that can activate a system, and when they do, the first mate is responsible for clearing that system. The first mate also keeps track of the damage the submarine has taken in the top right corner.
And lastly, we have the engineer. The engineer's job is to track breakdowns on the submarine. Whenever the captain announces a movement, you cross out a symbol in the corresponding control panel for that direction. If there is ever a symbol crossed out for one of the systems, you cannot activate that system.
If it's absolutely important to keep one of the systems online, the engineer can instead cross off one of the radiation symbols in a control panel. This has no effect on any of the systems. However, if all 5 radiation symbols are crossed off at any point, the sub suffers 1 damage.
You will also take 1 point of damage if at any point all of the symbols in any of the control panels are crossed out. At any point when you take damage because of the engineer, you need to stop, announce loudly and clearly "damage," and the first mate indicates this on his sheet. Also, whenever you take damage, all of your systems are repaired.
There are 2 ways to repair breakdowns on the sub without taking any damage, the first of which is by connecting circuits. On the engineer's sheet, some of the symbols are connected by coloured lines which indicate circuits. If at any point all 4 of the symbols on one of the coloured lines are crossed off, those symbols are automatically repaired.
The other way to repair the submarine is by surfacing. Whenever you surface, it will repair every single breakdown, and it will also reset your path, allowing you to cross over your old path. However, it leaves you vulnerable for a short time, as the other team will immediately take 3 turns. If at any point during these 3 turns they decide to surface, any remaining turns are lost and the game resumes as normal. There are 5 systems that you will need to master in order to win the game.
The first system is the torpedo. When the captain launches a torpedo, he designates a coordinate no more than 4 spaces away without using diagonals. This is the point of impact. If a torpedo happens to impact with a mine, the mine is destroyed.
The second system is your mines. You can drop a mine on any adjacent space to your submarine, just not on your own path. The captain draws an M on that space and play continues. You just got to make sure that you never cross over that space later on. Then, at any point later in the game on one of your turns, you can activate that mine, saying "mine at G7", and that is the point of impact.
Upon detonation, mines and torpedoes deal damage at the point of impact and also the 8 surrounding spaces.
If a submarine is at the point of impact, its captain announces direct hit, 2 damage.
If a submarine is caught within one of the 8 surrounding spaces of a detonation, the captain announces indirect hit, 1 damage. Any further away, and he instead yells all clear.
What you need to remember, however, is that your own torpedoes and mines can damage your submarine.
The next system is the drone. The captain can use the drone to narrow in on the enemy submarine. He asks a question across the table, "Are you in sector?" and then announces the number of a sector. The enemy team must answer truthfully.
And then you have your sonar. Sonar will also help you narrow down the enemy submarine. When you activate it, the enemy captain must give you 2 pieces of information, 1 true and 1 false. The information also must come from different sources, whether that be row, column or sector. So you might get given, "I am in row 5, sector 2.
The last system is activating silence. To activate silence, the captain simply announces that he is doing so, and then moves secretly in any direction up to 4 spaces, making sure not to pass through any islands or over his own path, and without telling the opposing team the direction or the number of spaces. This, however, still counts as a move, so the engineer will still need to do his job.
So that's Captain Sonar. There's a lot to keep track of, and good communication is key.
As always, don't forget to read the rules yourself before you play, and don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to see more.
If you want to watch it played all the way through, click the card in the top corner. We've been Tom and Chris for Nerds of the West. Over and out.